Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to show you how to take a really old beat up cardboard box and make it into something like this. And believe me, the box I was using was very stressed out, but by the time I was done, it's very sturdy and it looks pretty. Okay, let's get started. Here are the items that I'm using to cover this box. You'll need a long ruler. You could use a tape measure, but a yardstick, something long is best. Something to mark your fabric with. I'm using just a pencil. You might need duct tape for your box, and especially if there's a little bit of damage to the box, you can cover it with the duct tape. I'm using Mod Podge, and you can get this at Walmart and other craft supply stores. And then I'm just using a little foam brush, but you can use any paint brush for this project. I'm going to show you an overview of the lines that you're going to draw. And you'll draw the lines on the back side, not so pretty side, of your fabric. So have it face up when you're drawing these lines. You're going to take your box bottom and you're going to place it down in the center of your fabric, and then you're going to draw around it. And I usually like to put something heavy in the bottom of the box so it doesn't move while I'm doing that. Then you're going to draw 4 more lines. You're going to draw from this edge out, go over, and on this side of the box draw, and then go here and draw, and now here and draw. So where I've got it marked sides and bottom, that's the fabric that is going to be applied to the box. These other squares we'll get rid of later. Now I want you to focus on this up here. Your outside fabric, after you've drawn all of these lines, you're going to give some additional space at the edge of your fabric. So for the outside fabric, you want to add 1 to 1.5 inches. For the lining fabric that goes on the inside of the box, you need to cut it a little bit bigger, 2.5 inches to 3 inches outside of those lines. Now I'm going to show you how I decide how much fabric I need. So you need to take the longest edge, because this is a rectangle, so you want to take this edge, go to a few inches away from 0, and you're just going to have the box standing up, lay it down, stand it up again, and give it a few more inches on the other edge. Measure that distance, and that's how much fabric you'll need. Then, again, I'm going to go over quickly again. Place the box in the center of your fabric. Draw your lines. Now, here's how I decide how much more. So if I was doing the outside fabric, I'll tip it up and line it up on this line. And then I'll take my ruler, and remember, for the outside fabric, you only want to add maybe an inch to 1.5 inches. You just go out that much farther and draw a line. Then you lay the box down, go over to the other side, and do the same thing. Take your ruler and draw your line, and then lay it back down in the center. Lay it out this way, and go out the number of inches you need to do, and then go back this way, and go back out. Now, all my lines that I've got in red, it's kind of hard to see on this fabric, but this is what I'm going to cut off. So after you've gone out that extra number of inches, you're just going to go and cut on those final lines that you cut. So go around to all 4 sides and trim your fabric. This is the cardboard box I'm going to cover in this tutorial. Now, what I've done on the inside, now these are things you don't have to do, but I recommend, is in the very bottom of the box, I added an additional piece of cardboard and I just glued it down. I put a little weight on top, waited for it to dry. You can cut these little flaps off of your box, but I decided not to because I noticed it really stabilized the top edge by keeping it in there. So I folded them down and added just a little bit of glue. In the corners here, some of the corners were really damaged. So I used duct tape, and this is the duct tape I used. I purchased it at Dollar Tree. So, you know, I forget, what is Dollar Tree now? It's not $1 anymore. I think it's $1.25. But anyway, very inexpensive, and you get quite a bit on there. So for your craft projects, it is a bargain. So I put that around there. If you've got any little holes in your box, you can put another little piece of cardboard over it and duct tape it for that. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've drawn all my lines on my fabric. Now I'm going to show you how to fold the corners. You're going to go to your corners, and this line here and this line, you're going to match them up. You're going to bring them together, and you're bringing the front side, pretty side of your fabric together. So here's the line on one side, and then here's the line on the other side. So go ahead and place pins right on your line all the way to the corner. And you're going to stitch right on that line, and make sure you backstitch at the beginning and the end. So this is what it looks like when you've got all your corners stitched together. Now you've got this excess fabric out here, so I'll show you how to cut that off. I've taken my ruler and placed the 1/2 inch line right on top of the seam where you stitched. So you're going to cut a 1/2 inch wide seam. So if for some reason it's a little tight, you can let it out a little bit on your corners if necessary. But if you've done everything right, it should all fit. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. So this is what it looks like after trimming. So do all 4 corners. I've gone ahead and slipped the box inside of the fabric. And the best way to do it is just turn it upside down and slip it over. And while you're pulling it on, take your time, make sure your seams are lined up in your corner, and then you're going to create your lining fabric and make it exactly the same, except remember that top edge is a little bit deeper, 2.5 to 3 inches more. Now you're going to take your Mod Podge glue, and I'm just using this foam brush. And the Mod Podge's kind of runny, so I put something under it. And just go ahead and put it just at the top edge on the inside of your box. Then you want to go ahead and fold it over, pulling it tight. And then go to the other sides and do the same thing. So I finished gluing the top edge. Now before I put the lining in, I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the bottom. Not a lot, just around the outer edge of the bottom. Now I've inserted the lining, and the pretty side of the fabric is facing out. Before you press the bottom in, line up your corners up here at the top, and then go reach inside and line up your corners on the inside, and then press the fabric along the bottom. All right, so I've pressed it all down in the bottom, and this is what it looks like. It's not ever going to look really perfect, but it's good enough. Remember, once you put your items in there, no one's going to see what you've done inside. So then pull it up over the edges all the way. And line again, make sure those corners are correct. Then you're going to go around to all the sides and tuck it under to where it's the same width from top to edge all the way around. Now this is your last step. Lift up your folded edge, and you're going to put just a little bit of glue underneath here to hold that edge down. It doesn't need to be a lot because this glue is pretty good. And it doesn't need to be perfect because it will dry clear. So go ahead and do that on all 4 sides. There's one thing I like about this particular project is that you can use up all those cardboard boxes that have been stacking up in your garage because you hate to throw them out because I know I'm going to need it for something. It's also a great way to dress up your sewing space. Here's a smaller one that I made, and in here I have leftover scraps of fabric that's used for clothing, and I have it right up on my shelf where I keep all my other clothing fabric. Well, I hope I've inspired you to begin organizing your sewing room. These will make your sewing space look so nice and organized, especially if you're one of those where your sewing space is in a little corner of your kitchen or your living room and you don't want it to look junky. They look really, really pretty when they're done. If you're interested in other beginners sewing projects, make sure you check below your YouTube screen for those video links. Just scroll down to the description section, expand that description section open by clicking on the little down arrow, and then you'll see all of those links listed down there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Happy sewing! If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.